So in the last class, we discussed about the classification of salts, which is normal salts, acidic and basic. Normal salt is basically neutral, and the pH value is 7. And the preparation of normal salts, how we can prepare a salt with the help of a two methods, from a soluble salts and from a insoluble salts. And in the soluble salts, we discussed three methods, which is direct combination reaction, displacement reaction, and decomposition reaction. So you have to learn all the methods, okay? That from a soluble salt, how many reactions will be there? From an insoluble salts, how many reactions will be there? So you have to learn all these steps and even one or two equations also. So in the soluble salts, we also discussed reaction with a metal carbonates and a bicarbonates. So Ria, please go through this notes. Me and Shazan have already discussed all these. So a reaction
Ma'am,
with a
notes are
metal
not sent.
notes, it's already there na in the Alamkul app.
Okay.
Huh. After class, you can check. So, reaction with the metal carbonates and the bicarbonates are what? Here, what we usually do, that when acids react with the metal carbonates and the bicarbonates, they liberate a colorless and a odorless gas. So, which will, if they are liberating like colorless and odorless gas, then that will turn into a lime water, milky. In the reaction with the metallic sulfides and the bisulfides, we discussed that if we will burn a sulfur, what will happen? It will turn the orange acidified potassium into a green, and then after that, it will turn into a purple to a colorless color. Okay. Reaction with sulfides, we discussed that when the zinc sulfide will react with a metal sulfides, what will happen? H2S gas will evolve. 1 minute. Yeah. So in the reaction with the sulfides, what is happening, Shazan?
Ma'am,
Reaction with sulfides, what will happen?
no, wait.
When acid will react with sulfide, what will happen?
Ma'am, acid will react with sulfur. Ma'am, strong acid salt will be formed.
It will produce a H2S gas. Okay. Please make a notes of all these, Shazan and Ria.
I
Then it will be
make.
easy for you to remember. Otherwise, you will forget all the points. In the next class, I'm gonna ask you all the points.
Okay.
So, in three more methods are there. Neutralization of an acid with a soluble base. First, we are neutralizing an acid with a soluble base, and next we are neutralizing a acid with an insoluble base. So, first of all, the neutralization of an acid with a soluble base is what? Here, the salts are produced with the reaction of a acid and base. ठीक है, तो उसको बोलते हैं neutralization of an acid with a soluble base. And if a neutralization of acid with an insoluble base, then what will happen? These are insoluble bases: MgO, PbO, CuOH twice, PbOH twice. So here we will react acid with an insoluble bases to produce a corresponding salt. What we will do? Here we will simply add acid plus base to produce a salt, and in this insoluble we are mixing a acid with a insoluble bases, and these are the insoluble bases to produce a salt. Okay, so reaction with a metal with alkali. So what will happen when a reaction of metals will happen with an alkali? Hydrogen gas takes place. Here zinc is reacting with this alkali, and what is forming? Sodium zincate, and H2 gas is also forming. Here also H2 gas, this side also your H2 gas. Okay, so if reaction of metals with alkali will happen, then the evolution of a hydrogen gas will take place. Next, from a soluble salts, we discussed how many processes. From a soluble salts, first was your combination reaction, second was your displacement reaction, third was decomposition reaction, and reaction with metal carbonates and bicarbonates were discussed, metallic sulfides and bisulfides, reaction with sulfides, and three more was there from soluble base and insoluble base. Reaction of metals with alkali means, and now from insoluble bases there are, first is combination reaction. We all know what is combination reaction, and by the combination of acidic oxide with a basic oxide. So when acidic oxide and basic oxide will mix together, what will happen? Calcium sulfite will form. And last process from this insoluble salts is your precipitation reaction. Okay, so in the insoluble salts, there are only three processes, and in the soluble salts, how many processes were there? Combination,
Some,
displacement, double.
some
Uh,
decomposition and double displacement.
there was also three processes, and one from your insoluble and soluble, and three from sulfides, bisulfides, sulfides, and one more was also there. Okay, so you have to learn all these. I will listen in the next class.
Okay, ma'am.
This also we discussed, right? Shazan, common salt,
Yes, ma'am.
है ना? Caustic
Mm.
soda. इसमें क्या होता है? What will happen in this caustic soda?
Ma'am, here we use the process of electrolysis to uh,
Hmm.
separate, to to
Yes.
decompose for decomposition reaction to take place in
Yeah.
NaCl plus such two.
So, Ria, in this caustic soda, what is happening? Caustic soda is basically your NaOH, which is sodium hydroxide. So, let us take a salt in a normal beaker and plus water. So, if we will pass a electric current from this salt and the mix up of the salt and water from the beaker, what will happen? Sodium hydroxide will form, chlorine and hydrogen will form. ठीक है. So when electricity is passed through an aqueous solution of a sodium chloride means NaCl, which is a salt and which is also known as a brine solution, Brine. ठीक है? So it decomposes to form a sodium hydroxide. So what will happen? Sodium hydroxide will form. Now, if anyone will ask you that how we will form a sodium hydroxide, so what will you say? Ki by passing the electricity from an aqueous solution, which is a mix up of your salt plus water. So then what will happen? It decomposes to form a sodium hydroxide, which is your caustic soda, NaOH. Just like here in this diagram, this is your salt anode side, sorry, cathode side, anode side, and this is your NaOH. NaOH is your caustic soda. So here these two will form hydrogen and chlorine, right? I'm giving you 2 minutes to learn this process and I will ask 2 minutes.
In which process this two NaCl1?
Okay, done. So now Ria, tell me what is how to prepare a caustic soda.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
caustic soda is formed by passing electricity through
through a
sodium
brine. Huh.
brine.
You can say through a brine solution. Brine is a mixture of an aqueous solution, which is a salt and water. Okay. Huh.
Okay.
So that will decomposes to form a sodium hydroxide. Now, in this unit, we will learn five different types of salts. First was your common salt, which is NaCl, sodium chloride, pH value 7, which is a neutral. Second, we will learn about bleaching powder. Third, baking soda. Then, washing soda, and the last is POP, which is a plaster of Paris. So you have to learn this name. Like bleaching powder is what? CaOCl2 calcium oxychloride. Baking soda is NaHCO3. Washing soda Na2CO3.10H2O. Plaster of Paris is CaSO4 and half H2O. Okay. This is the same process which we discussed, that common salt if you are taking, which is a NaCl, and in a, let's say this is a beaker which is a mix up of a aqueous solution. Here this is a cathode rod, this side is your anode rod, this is a hydrogen gas, this one is your chlorine gas. And now if we will pass the electricity from this plus and minus, what will happen? Your caustic soda will decompose. Now, bleaching powder. So, what is bleaching powder? Bleaching powder is produced by the action of a chlorine on a dry slaked lime. This is your bleaching powder. If here chlorine and this side is your slaked lime. So, if what will happen? If we will mix these two, what we will form? We will form a bleaching powder, which is CaOCl2 and plus water. So in this chapter, basically, you have to remember like every sentence point wise, and simply you can write this equation in your exam. Then examiner will give you full marks. What are the uses of a bleaching powder? So it is used for bleaching cotton and linen in textile industry. ठीक है? It is also used as a disinfectant for water to make it free from germs, and It is also used as an oxidizing agent in a chemical industry. So bleaching powder is basically used to wash clothes, which is also used to make your water free from germs, and which is also used as an oxidizing agent in a many chemical industries. This is your bleaching powder. And how bleaching powder is forming by the action of your slaked lime and chlorine. Then what will happen? Bleaching powder will form and plus water. And bleaching powder chemical formula is CaOCl2. And uses are in the textile industry, which is used to make free from germs of your water, and oxidizing agent in many chemical industries. Okay, Ria? ठीक है. So this is your bleaching powder. Next is your baking soda.
Ma'am,
So, huh.
can I drink water?
Yeah, sure. So here we discussed caustic soda. Next is your bleaching powder, and third will be your baking soda. Let her come. Yes, Ria. So baking soda is mainly used in our kitchen, you know, for making a crispy pakoras, and we can also use this baking soda to like for a fast cooking. Okay, what is the use of a baking soda? It is used in the kitchen for making it crispy pakora, and it is also added for the fast cooking. So how we can prepare this? First, we have to take a brine solution. Brine solution is a mix up of your sodium chloride and water, and we will take a carbon dioxide and ammonia, which is NH3. So if we will mix all these, what will happen? We will form a baking soda. Baking
Okay,
soda.
ma'am.
And for huh,
Ma'am,
what
I have a question, ma'am. Ammonium chloride, ma'am. Why it is here?
why it will not be there? See, NaCl and
Oh,
H2O.
okay, okay, okay.
ठीक है? And further, if we will use this sodium, I mean this baking soda in our kitchen, means for making any crispy, any food item. So if we will heat this baking soda, what will happen? It will form into three types. First is your sodium carbonate, and then your water and carbon dioxide will evolve. So baking soda is mainly used in our kitchens, and these are the two equations, so you have to remember this. And for bleaching powder, this is a very simple one. Quickly you have to like make a action with the help of its slake lime and chlorine, and then you will form a bleaching powder. And this side you have to mix a brine plus carbon dioxide plus ammonia, and then you will form a ammonia chloride and baking soda. And further, while making any food item in the kitchen, when you will heat a baking soda, it will turn into three types: sodium carbonate, water, and carbon dioxide. So, in the next class, I will also ask the equation from each of. Okay? So, you have to learn. And what is the use of a baking soda? Baking soda is used in our kitchens, which is a mixture of a baking soda, mild. 1 minute. Huh. So when we have to make a baking powder, which is a mix up of your soda and your acid, and this is the equation. But acha, हाँ, you can also write this point. This is the very simple point that baking soda is used for making bread or cakes rise, making them softy and spongy. So when you will see a cake or any bread, you will see a sponginess and a softiness. So that's because of your baking soda only. What is the next point? It is also used in soda acid fire extinguisher. So you have to make a point and learn. So we discussed about caustic soda, and the second was your bleaching powder, and third was your baking soda. Baking soda. So now, Riya, tell me, what we will mix to form a bleaching powder.
Ma'am,
Huh, try.
slate lime and
Huh.
calcium.
What?
No, ma'am. Slate lime and
Slake lime and
chlorine.
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 Slake lime and chlorine. Okay. Then bleaching powder and water. And now, Shazan, you tell me what is the process of making a baking soda.
Ma'am, Professor,
Baking soda.
ma'am, it was NaCl plus
Hmm.
it was NH.
It was water, brine
Uh,
solution,
yeah, that only
NaCl and
NaCl brine solution, water, and
Hmm.
Ma'am, that wait one more. Sodium bicarbonate.
Sodium bicarbonate, only carbon dioxide and ammonia. Brine, water, carbon dioxide and ammonia. And when we will mix up all this, then we will get na sodium. This your
Ma'am,
baking
your
soda.
voice.
After mixing the brine and carbon dioxide and ammonia, then you will get a baking soda and ammonia chloride. And on
Okay.
further heating your baking soda, you will get these three things.
Okay.
Now, what is washing soda? So washing soda is used to wash clothes. है ना? So first we will see what are the uses of the washing soda. So it is used in glass, soap, paper industries. It is used for the manufacture of sodium. Is my voice clear, Shazan?
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am, not clear to me.
Maybe because
Our mic is on.
yeah. So third is it also removes the permanent hardness of the water. So we have when we'll have like dirty clothes, or what we used to do, we used to mix up some of the washing soda and then our clothes get clear. Why? Because it is removing the hardness of a water, the dirtiness which is present in our water. It is also used for a cleansing agent in our houses and laundries, है ना? The detergent or phenyl. Okay, so that all are. So what is the process of making a washing soda? Here, see, first we will get through with the sodium carbonate. It is a white, this is your sodium carbonate, washing soda, which is a white crystalline solid. So when you will see a washing soda or any kind of a detergent, the color of that detergent is what? It's a white, है ना? White crystalline type का होता है थोड़ा सा. So its solution in water is alkaline in nature, turns red litmus into blue. And what is the nature of a washing soda? It is turning a red litmus into
Ma'am, it is
blue.
base.
Huh. And it has the property to remove the dirt and grease. Why? Because here this is a detergent and detergent
Yes.
will remove the dirt and grease from our dirty clothes. That's why it is known as the washing soda. And how to prepare? Here, sodium carbonate, which is this Na2CO3, can be obtained by heating baking soda. The recrystallization of sodium carbonates gives washing soda. So what we have to, what was the formula of, let me show you. I wrote somewhere. No? So here we have to mix a sodium carbonate with a water. So if you will mix a sodium carbonate with the water, what will happen? You will form like this will form a washing soda. Means sodium carbonate को लेना, उसको पानी के साथ mix करना. Then वो क्या बन जाएगा? It will become a washing soda, your detergent. Last is your plaster of Paris. Plaster of Paris is also this. अगर हाथ टूट जाता है, so what we used to apply? We used to apply a plaster of Paris to fix our bones. And how to form this plaster of Paris? Gypsum को अगर if we will heat at 373 Kelvin, gypsum. And what is the formula of gypsum? CSO4 into 2H2O. You will go home today and you will make the notes of all the salts or with the equation. Okay? So if you will heat a gypsum, then what will happen? It will form a plaster of Paris. This is the formula of a plaster of Paris. CaSO4 dot half H2O. So when gypsum is heated above 400 Kelvin, what will happen? A dead burnt plaster is obtained which does not have the property of hardening. So if we will heat this above 400 Kelvin, na, it won't be hard because if anyone will get fracture in our hand, what we used to apply? We used to apply some hardness thing, na, that so that hard property will make our make our bone fix. So if we are heating above 400 Kelvin, so that won't have the property of a hardening. So we have to heat it below 400 Kelvin. So plaster of Paris is a white powder, and on mixing with a water, it changes the gypsum into a hard solid mass like this. So this is a plaster of Paris, and if we will mix this with the water, this will convert into a gypsum. The reverse process will happen, and this plaster. So what are the uses of plaster of Paris? So it is used by doctors for joining the fractured bones at the right position. It is also used for making decorative pieces for our ceilings or to make a designs in the ceilings. We usually use the plaster of Paris. So three more topics are remaining. Laboratory preparation of some important salts. This is also a very and last is your general properties of salts. So first, acha, in school, which chapter is going on? Riya? Acha, let it be.
First
So
one.
Shazan, RNA is going on.
Yeah,
And
and day after tomorrow we are having our exam, and two topics are left, and they don't care.
acha, two topics are left in first chapter and they are taking tests.
No exam, and they
Acha,
don't care like it's
exam.
complete or not.
Okay.
Balancing they have not taught properly. Okay,
Hmm.
like
तो तुम्हें आती है ना
only
बैलेंसिंग?
yes, ma'am. I know. I'll just have to practice. I'll practice it, and I'll be God in that.
Hmm. Ria, you just tell me yes or no. First chapter is going. Okay. Almost done or started? Okay, just tell me. Almost done? Yes. Don't get. Okay, okay, okay.
Ma'am, we finished it today, the first chapter.
Oh
Oh,
my
so
God.
then from tomorrow, second unit.
No, ma'am, we have revisions. My exam starts next week.
Acha, revision, then next unit, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what I'm thinking that these three topics, the laboratory preparation, first let me first you have to remember all these topics. Then only I'll cover this one, laboratory
So, ma'am,
preparation of
you
chemical.
give us some time. We'll go through. You send the PDF on WhatsApp, and we'll go through it. And by the
And make
like
notes.
by the next class, we'll be prepared for. You take a short, you take a quick test kind of stuff in the class for the all the
Hmm.
previous topics.
Yes, in the next class I'll take. So quickly we will revise salts. Okay, only we are revising the salts. Let me clear all this and it will be easier for you. In Alamkul, there is the notes are already present maybe.
Ma'am, but your notes are not there, which you do it in class and then.
Okay, then I'll check it and I'll upload it to this. So salts are basically classified into three types. Okay? Normal salts, acidic salts, and a basic salt. So acidic salts, matlab pata hai, here we have to combine a strong acid and a weak base, and then it will produce a acidic salt. In a basic salt, we have to combine this with a weak acid and a strong base, and then it will form a basic salt. And what about normal salts? Here we have to combine only acidic and a basic to form a salt, which is a neutral salts, which is having a value 7. Now, how to prepare? Okay, let me erase all these. In physics, how many chapters done, Shazan?
Me, my electricity have been completed,
Me,
and
no, here means in this, in
now
Alamkot.
over here electricity have been completed and light is left to be complete. Only one chapter completed.
Okay. And bio?
Bio one chapter completed, two chapter completed. I think, yeah. Control and coordination is still going. Wait, yeah, it is going on.
Hmm. Okay. So after 12, what do you have to do? Have to clear IIT?
Yes,
Okay. Ria, you? IIT? Then, then what? Artist?
Ma'am, I'm not
Yeah.
sure now. Probably doctor or lawyer.
Acha. Okay, doctor. Doctor or lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes. Lawyer will suit you. ठीक है, so preparation of normal salt. Here we have to prepare with the help of a two process, soluble salts, insoluble salts. In the soluble salts, there are three reactions: direct combination reaction, displacement reaction, decomposition reaction. ठीक है? Only these three are there in a soluble salt. And we can also react with the metal carbonates, bicarbonates, sulfides, bisulfides, and with the sulfide. So when the metal will react with a metal carbonate and bicarbonate, what will happen? It will liberate a colorless and an odorless gas, which will turn a lime water into a milky color. So, in this reaction with the metallic sulfides and bisulfides, here what will happen? When acid will react with these two, it will turn orange acidified potassium dichromate into a green color and KMnO4 solution from purple to a colorless color. If you are reacting a metal with these two sulfides and bisulfide. Next, reaction with sulfides. So in sulfide, this is the simplest one. What will happen? It will produce a H2S gas. So soluble salts, only three things, and these three are different. Now, neutralization. Yes. So neutralization of an acid with soluble base. Soluble base is what? We will mix acid and base. Insoluble will mix acid with the insoluble base. ठीक है? Insoluble base mein, these are the examples. Reaction metal with alkali, what will happen? Hydrogen gas will take place. Last is your with the insoluble salt. Insoluble salt, here also three processes. There are combination with a acidic oxide and a basic oxide, and the last is your precipitation reaction. So common salts में two things है, soluble है, insoluble है. In the soluble there are three processes. In the insolubles there are also three processes. And here when there was your how many process? Three, right? The sulfides, and the sulfides, and one more was there. Okay. Make it tree like this and remember all the formulas. And in the common salt, first try to learn these names. The bleaching powder is what? CaOCl2. Baking soda is what? NaHCO3. Washing soda, and the last is your plaster of Paris. In the common salt, we will have all these. Caustic soda hoga, washing soda, baking powder, and what will be there? Plaster of Paris. So in the caustic soda, what will happen? Will pass electricity from a brine solution, then you will get a caustic soda plus chlorine and hydrogen. The simplest one. This is the simplest process. And in the bleaching powder, what will happen? Bleaching powder will form with the action of your flaked lime. Flaked lime क्या होता है? CaOH twice, and with chlorine. So what will happen? Bleaching powder form हो जाएगा and plus water. Bleaching powder, what is the use of a bleaching powder? It is used in our textile industries to wash our clothes. है ना? It is also used as an oxidizing agent in the chemical industries, and also used to make our water free from germs. ये these are the use of a bleaching powder. Baking soda का क्या use है? वो क्या बनाने में काम आता है? Crispy pakoras, right? So and it is also used for a fast cooking. What is the process of a baking soda? Simply, we have to combine brine solution plus carbon dioxide plus ammonia. You will get a baking soda and ammonia chloride. अब क्या होगा on further heating? You will get a sodium carbonate, water, and carbon dioxide. Okay. Next, what is the use of a baking soda? बेकिंग सोडा का क्या यूज है बेकिंग सोडा का यूज है used to rise up our cakes or bread which is to make them like very softy and a spongy kind of stuff and which is also used for a soda acid fire extinguisher. Hmm. Last is your baking soda and oh no, the second last is your plaster of Paris. So washing soda is used to wash our clothes, which is used to remove the dirt and grease from our clothes, which is used to remove the permanent hardness of the water, and you will form this washing soda with the help of this Na2CO3 को plus water से मिलाएंगे, you will get a washing soda. Plaster of Paris कब use होता है जब हम लोग का when there's a fracture in our bones, then doctor use plaster of Paris in our hand to fix our bones. And how we will prepare a plaster of Paris? You have to heat a gypsum at 373 Kelvin. Then you will form a plaster of Paris. If you will heat gypsum above 400 Kelvin, what will happen? They will lose the property of hardness. So if plaster of Paris if the plaster of Paris is losing the property of hardening, it means there's no use, right? Because plaster of Paris is used in our bones, which is a hard kind of a stuff. So if you are heating more, then it will, which does not have the property of hardening नहीं रहेगा. Reverse process, plaster of Paris, which is a white powder. If we will mix this with water, you will get a gypsum. Gypsum, which is a hard solid mass. Where we use this plaster of Paris, it is used by the doctors for joining the fractured bone and also used to make the designs on our ceiling. Now, all the assignments are done from this chapter? No? 1 minute, let me check
How
the
many
assignments.
are there?
What, Riya?
How many assignments are there?
That's what I'm checking. 1 second. Total AV3 was there. And now let me check the app. Shazan, you have not submitted AV3 assignment. Riya submitted.
Possible.
Can you please submit it right now?
Ma'am, what to do, ma'am? You send it in the WhatsApp group. I'll do it again.
Why?
Because I think it has been lost inside my notebook. Oh, wait.
Okay.
Can you show me the assignment and let's find out where it is? Easy.
Sending on WhatsApp. Got it?
Yes, ma'am, got it.
Okay, so in the next class, right, I'll share all these notes within
Ma'am, I'll
15
submit
minutes.
this one, after finding it. It's like I've written it somewhere.
Because you did, right?
Yeah, I
Only you have
did,
to
but I
make
have
it
to
easy.
find out.
Okay, so find it. And in half an hour or in 15 minutes, I'll share all these notes. You have to make notes. I'll check the notes and I will listen all the equations as well as what is the use of the different kinds of a salt. Okay? And one more, the preparation also I will ask. Insoluble and soluble, and you guys have to give answers.